You sit down at your desk, coffee in hand, inbox open. Your body seems perfectly still. But if you could zoom inside yourself right now, into your legs, your blood vessels, your liver, you'd see something already changing. 30 minutes from now, an enzyme responsible for burning fat in your bloodstream will have dropped by 90%. 90 minutes from now, your insulin sensitivity will start to decline. 3 hours from now, you'll stand up. And in the span of 10 seconds, your body will enter what can only be described as controlled chaos. What just happened? And why does your body treat sitting? Something so ordinary? Like a biological event it has to manage. Before we go deeper, if you're curious about what your body is doing right now, this is the channel for that. We break down the biology behind everyday actions. Subscribe to Body Biology Unveiled so you don't miss the next one. Most people think sitting is rest. It's what you do between activity. It's neutral. Your body is doing nothing, so nothing is happening inside. But that's not quite right. Sitting isn't rest. It's a position. And every position you hold triggers a biological response. When you lie down, your heart rate drops. Your kidneys process fluid differently. Your spine decompresses. When you stand, your leg muscles engage. Your heart works harder against gravity. Blood flow changes. And when you sit, especially for hours, your body enters a state that looks calm on the outside but is anything but neutral on the inside. It's not that sitting is bad. It's that your body wasn't designed to hold any single position for 3 hours straight. And the longer you sit, the more your body has to adapt, compensate, and eventually manage what starts to look like a biological problem. To understand what happens, you need to meet the key players. First, there's lipoprotein lipase. Think of it as the gatekeeper of fat burning. It's an enzyme that lives on the walls of your blood vessels, especially in your legs. Its job is to pull triglycerides, which are fat molecules floating in your blood, and break them down so your muscles can use them for energy. When you're moving, lipoprotein lipase is active. When you're sitting, it shuts down. Then there are your leg veins. They're not just passive tubes. They have one-way valves that prevent blood from flowing backward. But these valves need help. They rely on your calf muscles to squeeze them, pushing blood upward against gravity. Without that squeeze, blood starts to pool. And finally, there are baroreceptors. These are tiny pressure sensors in your neck, right where your carotid arteries are. They constantly monitor your blood pressure and send signals to your brain. When you stand up suddenly, they're the ones that have to react in seconds to keep you from fainting. These three systems, lipoprotein lipase, your leg veins, and your baroreceptors, are about to go through a journey. This doesn't happen all at once. It happens in stages, minute by minute, phase by phase. The first 30 minutes look one way. The next hour looks different. By the time you hit 3 hours, your body is in a completely different state than when you sat down. And then you stand up. That's when everything accelerates. So let's walk through it. Let's follow what's actually happening inside you. From the moment you sit down to the moment you stand back up, you sit. Your legs stop moving within seconds. The muscles in your calves, your thighs, your glutes, they all go quiet. And when they go quiet, something else shuts off. Lipoprotein lipase, that enzyme we talked about, its activity starts to drop. Not slowly, fast. Studies show that within 20 to 30 minutes of sitting, lipoprotein lipase activity in your leg muscles can fall by as much as 90%. 90%. You didn't eat anything. You didn't change your diet. You just sat down. And now your body's ability to pull fat out of your bloodstream and burn it has nearly vanished. The triglycerides that were supposed to be broken down and used for energy, they stay in your blood. They circulate. They wait, but there's no one to unload them. It's like a delivery truck arriving at a warehouse, but all the doors are locked. Meanwhile, your blood flow starts to slow. Normally, when you walk or stand, your calf muscles contract and relax. That action squeezes your veins. pushing blood back up towards your heart. It's called the muscle pump. But when you sit, that pump stops. Blood still flows, but it flows more slowly. The pressure in your leg veins starts to rise. Fluid begins to shift. If you've ever pressed your finger into your shin after sitting for a long time and seen an indent, that's fluid. That's your body struggling to move blood and lymph fluid back up against gravity. And you're only 30 minutes in. By minute 30, your body starts to shift metabolically. This is where things get interesting. Your muscles, which were just mildly inactive, now start to close the door to glucose, even if you haven't eaten. Your muscle cells begin to reduce the number of glucose transporters on their surface. It's not because they're full, it's because they're still inactive. Muscles don't need much fuel, so they stop accepting it. This is the early phase of what researchers call sedentary-induced insulin resistance. Your insulin levels haven't spiked. Your blood sugar might be normal, but your muscles are becoming less sensitive. They're preparing for inactivity. At the same time, your liver is paying attention. It notices that your muscles aren't demanding glucose, so it starts to shift modes. Instead of releasing glucose into your bloodstream to fuel movement, it begins to store it. It converts glucose into glycogen and starts tucking it away. And if your glycogen stores are already full, it starts converting excess glucose into fat. Not because you overate, but because your body is responding to the signal that says, we're not moving, so we don't need immediate energy. Let's store this. Your spine is also under pressure now. When you sit, especially if you're leaning forward slightly, the disc between your vertebrae compress unevenly. They lose water. They flatten. This isn't painful yet, but it's happening. And your hip flexors, the muscles at the front of your hips, they're shortening. They're adapting to the bent position. The longer you sit, the more they tighten. You're now 60, 70, 80 minutes in, and your body is quietly rewriting its operating system to match what you're doing, which is nothing. Quick note, if this is making you want to stand up right now, good. That's your body talking. And if you want more of these deep dives into what's really happening inside you, subscribe to Body Biology Unveiled. We're just getting started, and there's a lot more to uncover. Hour 2. You're deep into it now. Lipoprotein lipase is still off. Your muscle pump is still quiet. But now, something else happens. Your body starts to treat this as the new normal. Your brain, which has been monitoring your posture, your blood flow, your muscle activity, it starts to recalibrate. This is what we're doing now. It decides, so let's optimize for this. Your blood pressure adjusts. Your heart rate settles into a lower rhythm. Your breathing slows. From the outside, you look calm, focused. But inside, your metabolism is in storage mode. Your liver has shifted almost entirely into fat production. Any excess glucose that comes in from a snack, from your last meal still digesting, it's being converted and stored. Your pancreas is still releasing insulin, but your muscles aren't responding the way they used to. Your insulin sensitivity, which was high when you woke up this morning and moved around, is now significantly lower. And here's what most people miss. This isn't about calories. You could be sitting here having eaten nothing, and this would still happen. It's about movement, or the lack of it. Your brain is also starting to feel it. Blood flow to your brain hasn't stopped, but it's not as robust as it was when you were walking around. You might feel a little foggy, a little sluggish. That's not caffeine wearing off. That's reduced circulation. Your brain is getting everything it needs to survive, but not everything it needs to thrive. And your legs, by now. If you looked at them under a microscope, you'd see blood pooling in the small veins. The valves are still working, but they're working against resistance. Fluid is accumulating. Your feet might feel slightly swollen. Your calves might feel heavy. You've been sitting for 3 hours, and now you decide to stand up. This is the moment. You push your chair back, you plant your feet, you rise, and in the span of 10 seconds, your body has to solve a physics problem it wasn't ready for. Second one. Gravity pulls approximately 500 to 800 milliliters of blood, roughly the size of a large water bottle, down into your legs. Your blood pressure which was stable while you were sitting, suddenly drops, especially at your head. Your brain, which needs constant blood flow, is now receiving less. Second 2 to 3, baroreceptors in your carotid arteries, those pressure sensors in your neck, detect the drop. They send an urgent signal to your brainstem. Blood pressure is falling. Do something. Second 3 to 5, your brainstem responds. It sends a command to your heart. Beat faster. Your heart rate jumps. 10, 15, sometimes 20 beats per minute in just a few seconds. Second 5 to 8. At the same time, your brainstem tells your blood vessels to constrict. Tighten up. The vessels in your legs, your abdomen, they squeeze. This forces blood back up toward your heart and brain. Second 8 to 10. Your blood pressure stabilizes. Your brain gets the flow it needs. You're standing. You're fine. But if you felt dizzy, if your vision went gray for a moment, if you had to steady yourself, that means your baroreceptors were a little slow. Maybe they've adapted to long periods of sitting. Maybe your body needed an extra second or two to catch up. This isn't a disease. It's a sign. Your body is managing, but it's managing something it shouldn't have to manage this often. You're standing now. You might walk to the bathroom, to the kitchen, to a meeting, and as you move, things start to reverse. Your calf muscles contract. The muscle pump turns back on. Blood that was pooling in your legs gets pushed back up. Your lipoprotein lipase starts to wake up. But here's the thing. It doesn't turn on instantly. It takes 20 to 30 minutes of movement before that enzyme is fully active again. And if you sit back down after 5 minutes, you reset the process. It's like rebooting a computer. If you shut it down again before the reboot finishes, you're back to square one. This is why standing desks don't work if you just stand still for 3 hours. Your body doesn't want a new position. It wants change. It wants movement. There's real research behind this. A study published in Diabetes Care in 2018 tracked office workers for 8 weeks. Half of them set timers to stand and move every 30 minutes. The other half didn't change their routine. After 8 weeks. The group that broke up their sitting time had 20% better insulin sensitivity. They didn't change their diet. They didn't start exercising more, they just stood up. Another study from the University of Texas found that lipoprotein lipase activity dropped by 90% within 30 minutes of sitting and took several hours of activity to fully recover. This isn't theory. This is measurable. Your body responds to what you do, and it responds fast. Here's what I want you to understand. Your body is not broken. It's not failing you. It's responding intelligently to the environment you're giving it. When you sit for 3 hours, it adapts, it conserves, it protects. When you stand up, it mobilizes, it reacts, it recalibrates. Every single response we just walked through. The enzyme shutdown, the blood pooling, the baroreceptor reflex. All of it is your body doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The problem isn't your body. The problem is that modern life asks you to sit longer than your biology was designed to handle. So here's my question for you. When was the last time you stood up before watching this? Let me know in the comments. And if you learned something new about your body today, subscribe to Body Biology Unveiled, because there's a lot more happening inside you than you think. Your body is always responding, always adapting, always protecting you. The question is, are you listening? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.